What is the longest running TV series in the history of television?
Speaking of television, what TV theme song was voted the best theme of all time?
This is totally useless information with Nick and Roy. Listen, laugh, and learn.
Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Roy, and this week, we and our staff scoured the internet to come up with this totally useless information just for you.
Plus, we'll answer your mailbag questions. We'll continue our conversations from the Fort Meyers Film Festival. And in the news, a cyclist and a bear are on the same road. Guess what happens?
Totally useless information. It's everything you never needed to know.
Thank you for joining us. Yes, we are on the heels of experiencing the Fort Meyers Film Festival. I'm actually down in Fort Myers, and normally I'm 1,500 miles away, but right now I'm like, 15 inches away from you?
Yeah, you're actually in front of me, which is frightening.
Yeah, I'm usually behind you, which is even more frightening. So thanks for joining us. Over 70 countries around the world. We thank you very much for your loyalty. I can say that in English.
Or either one.
Exactly. We'll have a translator at the end of the show. But in the meantime, let's talk about inventions.
Innovations. Ideas. The Totally Useless Information Podcast presents Inventions.
So all of us have had a thermos that we brought to school. Have you ever had a thermos?
Sure, I had the whole lunch box at one time.
Okay, what was the lunch box of?
I think it was Speed Racer.
Ah, okay, I had a Snoopy one. And then,
you
know what I had? I had Emergency. Remember the show Emergency?
No.
It was a great TV show.
You asked. I'm not going to lie to the people.
It's Emergency with an exclamation point. And speaking of television, we have a brand new topic this week, which we will get into. But in the meantime, anyway, here's about the thermos. In 1892, a Scottish scientist, Sir James Dewar, invented the vacuum flask. Through his work in cryogenics, he identified need to keep a chemical placed in a flask at a very stable temperature. To do this, he placed a glass bottle in a larger glass bottle and evacuated the air between the two bottle walls to keep the liquid at the same temperature.
Right. It also stops it from sweating.
Right. So very ingenious invention by Scottish scientist Sir James Dewar.
Oh, very good. Yeah. I like the Scots.
Yes. I like Scotch, too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're drinking it right now, folks.
No, we're not.
I did inventions, but I also looked up inventions done by famous people, and I came up with 3 actors. One of them is Marlon Brando.
Oh, yeah.
We all know On the Waterfront. I could have been a contender.
Well, the other famous one, of course, is I'm going to give an offer he can't refuse.
Yeah, exactly. Marlon Brando, cool, great method actor, awesome guy. Crazy too, a little nutty with the remember that sex movie he did? What was it called? Something in Paris?
You can I'll look it up while you
he did that movie. It was like the first really roughly rated R film. I watched it 7 times.
Yeah, at the age of 10.
At the age of 10, I was taking notes. So anyway, but Marlon Brando, I didn't know this. He's an Oscar winner, of course, but he was a drummer, and he loved to play the conga drums.
Oh.
Yeah, and so he loved it so much. In order to tune a conga drum, or any drum for that matter, there's bolts on the top of the skin. As you tighten them, it changes the tone.
Yeah.
Well, Marlon Brando figured out how to make one lever on the bottom of the conga that you could just push and pull to change the tone and tune the conga. And he patented it.
Very good.
How cool is that?
By the way, that movie, I know all of the audience is yelling at their devices, The Last Tango in Paris.
Last Tango in Paris. That's it.
Right.
Yeah. But, and one of his advertising things to sell this tuning thing was, you got to buy this.
No, he said, this is an invention you can't refuse.
This is a conga you can't refuse.
What is it with gangsters that they have? Someone give them a throat lozenge or something and
Yeah.
have a sore throat.
Exactly. It's scarier. If he walked over and said, this is an offer you can't refuse, it doesn't sound good. But if he goes, this is an offer you can't. It's like, I can't even hear him. I'm scared of him now.
You know, you actually spit in my face because you're this close now.
Yeah. No, I just spit in your face, to be very honest.
Now, before we started the show, we did open up a bottle of wine, and we used a corkscrew.
Ooh.
In 1795, the first corkscrew The patent was granted to Reverend Samuel Henshaw.
That's funny. That's what Marlon Brando was doing in that last Tango movie.
It was corkscrew. Reverend Samuel Henshaw in England. Soldiers once used gun worms, metal claws, mounted to the end of wooden ramrods.
That again is what happened in that movie, but go ahead.
To clear bullets and from the barrels of the muskets when it failed to fire. The curled tip inspired the winding shape of a corkscrew, once known as a steel worm.
Or a French tickler.
If you use either the worm carelessly, and you could end up getting blasted. So you had to be really, really careful. But
yeah, you wouldn't want to just blow the top of the bottle off.
No, exactly. That's what they have. The speed of a champagne cork is 25 miles per hour.
Whoa.
There you go. See?
There you go.
Thank you, Reverend Samuel Henshaw, for the corkscrew.
So there was an actress that most people wouldn't remember. It's Hedy Lamarr. Hedy Lamarr was like the knockout of her day. She was the Marilyn Monroe or I don't know, who's hot now. There's a lot of hot girls now, but whatever.
Yes.
Hedy Lamarr was in the heyday of Hollywood. She was the most beautiful woman in the world. And she was really interested and invested in not only being an actress, but she was trying to get involved in everything behind the scenes as well. Well, she got together, Hedy Lamarr, with this gentleman. I'm trying to find it, and I can't.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
maybe you had too many glasses of wine from the corkscrew we used to open up the wine bottle. We don't drink here on this show.
Come on.
While you're listening, while you're watching that, I'll remind the audience you're listening to Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. I am, in fact, down here in Fort Myers, Florida.
Okay, I got it.
Right. Wait, I'm not done yet. And next to Roy, and we have attended the Fort Meyers Film Festival, and you hear more about that in just a few moments.
You won't see the engineer that slams the Nissan Rogue's door 13,920 times, or the corrosive chamber that simulates 15 years of life in 5 months, or the Rogue heat-baked for over 300 combined hours. What you will see is a vehicle that can take punch after punch and keep rolling. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. We put it through the worst, so you get its best. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Newer models may be shown.
So Hedy Lamarr teams up with this composer named George Antheil and devised a radio transmission technique that defied enemy disruption efforts. See, back then the Germans or the Japanese were sending these signals that would knock the radio waves, and it would sound like kind
of
like that.
Sometimes this program, yes.
Exactly, like Nick. Okay, so but anyway, so they invented this system that would make the frequency randomly jump by itself, and then that blocking system could not be used. That they called it the secret communications system, and even though they didn't use it in World War II, it's recognized as the precursor to wireless technology that we use today, which is the random towers that send the signal in pulses from jumping from one tower to the next tower to the next tower. So thank you, Hedy Lamarr, for doing that.
Wow.
And she was put into the Inventors Hall of Fame in 2014.
I would. I think that's a great invention. Thank you, Hedy.
Plus, she was hot.
She's really, really hot.
Yeah.
Her pickup line was, "Are you hot in here, or is it just me?" Now, we've all had pizza, and we've all been sold to the fact that you need a dip to go along with your pizza. Have you ever had a dip with the pizza?
The garlic dip is good.
It's really good. Mm-hmm. And usually you open up the little container, right, and then you dip it right into the sauce, right, into the dip.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Enter this invention, and this is courtesy of a Canadian pizza chain up in Canada. Pizza introduced the dip roller.
The old dip roller.
Okay, no, we're not talking about Marlon Brando's movie again, but the dip roller.
There was a dip roller in Paris, I'll tell you that.
Once in a generation innovation.
I was 10, so it just, I was like, wow, that's what a dip roller is.
Exactly. So what they did was they took this, it's a once in a generation innovation in dipping, guaranteeing an even dip.
Once in a generation innovation.
Innovation and dipping, guaranteeing an even dip every time. Here's what happens. You know those little painting trays you used to pour paint in it, and a little roller? It's the same idea. So you bip, you dip.
Oh, you bip. I told you, folks, just keep listening to him. You'll feel drunk, too.
You bet your bippy. So pour your dip.
He puts his bip dip in the old chip dip. And the old wick dipper.
Yeah, we have a whole new Dr. Seuss going on. So pour your dip into your dip tray. Firmly secure your dip roller because it needs to be firmly secured. Roll back and forth for desired coverage, and then apply the dip directly onto your pizza.
Folks, by the time you read the instructions and do this, your pizza is cold.
That's right.
Very dumb idea.
But now this has nothing to do with the Pizza. They did not sponsor the show, not yet. We didn't get anything for it. Pizza, which I know in some circles that's the sort of slogan
Little
that
Caesars.
Little Caesars uses.
They go,
So
Little Caesars, pizza.
maybe Pizza is going to have a lawsuit on their hands.
Funniest pizza commercial I've ever seen is for pretzel crust pizza down here in the U.S. for they have a stuffed bear for absolutely no reason, standing, a little miniature stuffed bear on a table, and there's three people. They're the most odd-looking people, and they're staring at it. And then the bear starts dancing, and the guy goes, "Pretzel pizza is back. The bear is dancing." It means absolutely nothing. It is so freaking funny.
But you remember the commercial?
Oh, my God.
Awesome.
It's hysterical.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, get this one. Eddie Van Halen from the rock group Van Halen. Eddie Van Halen, known as one of the best guitarists. He's like top 10 of all time. Eddie Van Halen was also a craftsman and an inventor, and he invented many things for musical instruments. He improved on what's called a humbucker pickup. So the old dipper and the humbucker. But the humbucker pickup is a very deep, wide sounding pickup. It's got a big range, so it's a real cool sound to it. He actually changed them and guitar peg heads to tune it and so on. But his biggest invention for the guitar was a musical instrument support. It was a plate that propped up the guitar against the player's body to free the hands more, to have the hands more freely to explore the musical instrument as never before. So your hands were free to explore. Eddie Van Halen patented a lot of these, and he was a big inventor. So Eddie Van Halen. So we had Marlon Brando, Hedy Lamarr, and Eddie Van Halen.
Excellent.
You won't see the engineer that slams the Nissan Rogue's door 13,920 times. Or the corrosive chamber that simulates 15 years of life in 5 months. Or the Rogue heat-baked for over 300 combined hours. What you will see is a vehicle that can take punch after punch and keep rolling. Nissan. #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. We put it through the worst, so you get its best. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Newer models may be shown.
Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy continues. Listen, laugh, and learn.
What you're about to hear, folks, is excerpts from some of the interviews that we did with some of the really amazing, cool filmmakers at the Fort Meyers Film Festival. We did so many interviews, we literally had to break it up into 3 parts and put it in between 3 shows. So that's what you're about to hear. It's awesome, and then we're going to continue with the show.
And welcome to the 13th annual Fort Meyers Film Festival.
I'm excited.
You're so excited you wet your pants. But then again, it is another day here on Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. This is a very special edition. Here I am in Fort Myers. Now we have our first guest.
We have our first guest is John Buffar. And John Buffar is from Dreamtime Entertainment. And he has a new film out called Worth the Fight, which is a full-length documentary. Hi, John.
How you doing, guys?
Good.
Having fun?
So did you like how we cleaned the studio for you?
Yeah, very nice.
It's a
Kinda
great
reminds me of
setup.
The Toronto International Film Festival, the Klieg lights and the searchlight outside was a nice touch.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah.
Well, we got it in the corner over there. We're at the Luminary Hotel here in Fort Myers, Florida, and they've been nice enough to let us use their media center.
You're assuming they know we're here.
Well, the janitor does.
No, somebody once told me they got into the Academy Awards because if you pretend that you belong there, they'll let you go. And sure enough, we walked in with a bunch of equipment, and we just said, we're looking for the 4th floor and Eric Raditz, and they said, go right ahead, sir.
And how funny is it that Nick pretends to be a podcast host?
John, what is your film about? Tell us exactly what your film is about.
Okay, well, it's about the story of a guy named Steve Canton. And right here in Fort Myers is also the home of the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame. And Steve runs that, but he also runs a gym for kids. And he's been in the business a really long time. And this is kind of his life story and a legacy piece, but it's also stories about individual people whose lives boxing really saved, and different stories. I was more interested in the effect boxing had on the lives of these people. I'll give you an example. One of the gentlemen is a guy by the name of Pinklin Thomas.
Sure, I've heard it. I'm very into boxing.
Pinklin started out as an 8-year-old drug addict, addicted to heroin, and by the time he was 9.
Excuse me, at 8 years old he was addicted?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's cheaper then. You get a discount when
Growing
you're young
up in
like
Pontiac,
that.
Michigan, it's a crazy scene. But anyway, 2-time world champion, and today has Project Pink, which helps other kids with addictions overcome them, and a large part of that is through boxing.
So these are stories about how boxing helped save these people's lives?
Correct.
Which is amazing to me. See, that's a cool premise.
So what prompted you to come up with this idea of making this into a film?
They wanted to pay me.
Oh,
there you go. Well, that's always helpful too. Yeah.
But how did they discover you? How did they know to come to you to make this film?
I guess they, had quite a few films out, so they knew of my work, and so I was approached by the association, and after I interviewed with Steve and found out about his life story, I was honored to be able to tell not only Steve's story, but the story of all these other people that he's helped through boxing.
Fantastic. And how many people is the film about?
The film has got 8 main characters, male and female, and I'll give you a few for instances. There's a young kid who didn't know that he was an illegal alien until he went to go get his driver's license at the age of 16. And realized couldn't happen, right? And then there's another kid that said he was probably the biggest cocaine dealer on Fort Myers Beach before he got into the gym.
No, I wasn't there. No, okay, no, I'm sorry. I've never sold drugs in my life.
Snow in Florida, no. I don't know what it's about. But, so very diverse stories. Another is a guy who served several years in Afghanistan as a sniper and had 90% PTSD when he came out, and boxing was the only thing. He's a warrior, and nobody appreciates his skills in our society outside the battlefield.
Yeah,
and he found his home in the gym, and Cody is his name. Before we go any further, the most important thing about the Fort Myers Film Festival is Eric Raditz.
Yes.
He had the vision to bring a lot of
Let me ask you, hold
diverse-
on just a second. Did he pay you to say that?
He will.
Oh, he will. Okay.
Later.
He doesn't know it yet. Just the Luminary Hotel doesn't know we're here
hotel
yet.
tonight that I'm paying for is going to be on his. By the end of the evening, it'll be on his tab.
John, you take this story and turn it into a film. So walk us through the process of taking a story that's a great story to begin with. We're having a chat, and you could have told us this story. We're like, wow, that's a cool story. That's really great. How do you turn that into a film?
Well, I didn't know the story, right? I didn't know there was this great story. All I knew is there's this guy that an association that wants to hire me to do this film. And so I'm like, okay, well, who comes in and out of here? Who are these people? So it was only through the process of figuring out who you're working with and who the characters in the gym are, does the story develop. It's a documentary. It doesn't, it's not shot in a week in like scripted television. So it kind of takes on a life of its own. And the nice thing about this doc really is that we're now working on the feature film that the doc sprang. And that's Pinklin's life story. And it's called Lady and the Champ.
Well, John Bafar, it was such a pleasure to meet you. Thank you very much for sharing your story, and we'll look for it. Worth the fight. It's worth the wait, as I said. Thank you very much for joining us on Total Useless
fantastic
Information
meeting
with Nick
you.
and Roy.
Great. Fantastic. Thanks so much.
You won't see the engineer that slams the Nissan Rogue's door 13,920 times. Or the corrosive chamber that simulates 15 years of life in 5 months. Or the Rogue heat-baked for over 300 combined hours. What you will see is a vehicle that can take punch after punch and keep rolling. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. We put it through the worst, so you get its best. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Newer models may be shown.
You're listening to Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. We are really excited. This is a special episode from the Fort Myers Film Festival. We are in the Luminary Hotel.
We're actually in a closet in the basement.
I mean, closets have the best sound.
Yes.
So that mystery voice is...
Who, me?
No, our guest.
Oh, it's Amanda.
Amanda?
Amanda from Phaedra to Black Films.
Wait a minute. Phaedra, why does it sound familiar? Is that like a Greek goddess or something?
It's a Greek
Oh, he
tragedy.
is such a lie. He tries to make people think he knows so much. We spoke to her about this, and when she said Phaedra, we were
See, I'm the
interested.
tragedy. See, that's the whole thing. There's comedy and tragedy.
Oh.
Welcome to the show, Amanda. Congratulations, and thank you for being part of the film festival. How's it been so far for you?
It's been great. My feature film, Perfectly Good Moment, we were the adult movie. is how they
Okay.
advertised us.
The category, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All
Did
right.
it need to be adult, or it was just the content that was adult?
Yeah, it's a psychosexual revenge thriller, so...
Oh.
Or just like a Tuesday for Roy.
This is the story of my life.
We've asked other filmmakers that we've interviewed, where did the story come from? So where did the idea for your movie come from?
Well, I grew up in New York City,
You
and
poor thing. But go on, yes.
the moment...
Where in New York?
I grew up on the Upper East Side,
Okay, cool.
Okay.
and now I live in Brooklyn.
Doesn't everybody?
Yeah. And the moment I became a teenager, maybe a little bit before that, adult men started hitting on me.
Really? Wow.
Really, yes.
Wow,
okay.
And when you were very young.
When you say adult, what do you mean by adult?
I
30s,
mean,
40s?
Yes.
Okay.
And when you are a teenage girl and you're being told, gosh, you're such an old soul, you internalize that and you think, I'm an old soul.
Wow.
Right.
And then you become an adult and you realize
They were playing you.
right. No, it's not that you were an old soul. It's that
They
they were
were-
a creep.
They were creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Did I tell you were an old soul? No, I'm joking.
it doesn't really matter now. I'm
Yeah,
almost
so
30,
you're like an old pair of shoes. You're an old soul. Right.
Exactly. Yes. SOLE.
So you were technically underage,
I mean, yes, that's technically what that would be.
Okay. and they tried to hit on you.
Yes.
Okay, they weren't successful, thankfully.
No, but you still think about it, and you think of yourself as being. an
Sure,
old
as you
soul.
mature, you think back and you say,
Exactly.
"Boy, what was I thinking?" And then you kind of almost think it's you because you're like, "Why didn't I know that?" Or what was I thinking? And it's so
Right.
ridiculous because it's not you; it's the stupid creep guy that has a problem.
Yep, and then a lot of the
Like
content.
No.
So what
I'm
was
polite.
that statute of limitations we
That's
mentioned
right.
earlier?
Yeah, it's a statute of
If you're ever in
limitations.
Toronto,
Statue.
Yeah, it's a statute of limitations.
But so also a lot of the content that we see in films, we see a lot of these age gap relationships, and it's never really talked about.
Okay, so let's go back to your experience. So now you have this horrible experience, but you're thinking as you're growing up that did you create a complex? Is it something that really impacted you, or did you learn from that horrible experience?
Well, it's more that I think a lot of women have that. And so it's something I started talking to friends about and realizing, oh, we all have this story. So then I just one day I was kind of sitting at home and this idea came to me for this couple where there is an age gap. And I thought, oh, well, I'll write this movie. And I like revenge thrillers. I really like hard candy. I really like the movie Last Tango in Paris. And I thought, what if you combined them?
Nice. And
Ah.
you did.
Yep.
And you did.
It's called Perfectly Good Moment.
Yes.
Amanda from Phaedra to Black.
I am the screenwriter and I also star in it.
Oh, cool.
Well,
See, so you're in.
This has been a perfectly good moment for us.
Well,
We want to
thank
thank you
you.
very much for joining us on Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. Congratulations once again, and good luck on the rest of your wonderful adventure with this film.
Thank you.
Yeah, good luck.
Thanks.
This is Totally Useless Television Information with Nick and Roy, the two guys that put the boob in boob tube.
This is a new topic. This was also my teaser, by the way.
Okay.
What was the longest running TV show ever?
MASH?
654 episodes. MASH isn't even close.
Really?
Cheers, not close. Seinfeld, not close. I Love Lucy, not close. The Simpsons.
Oh, really?
Yes, 654 episodes. By the way, it never started off as a show. It started off as a little bit piece on the Tracy Ullman show. Like a little insert right before a commercial. And it was the most odd, ridiculous, stuttering, looking, horrible cartoon. And it turned into The Simpsons TV series, 654 episodes and going.
Wow.
It's still an actual show.
Amazing. Now, you mentioned Cheers was not one of those shows that are like the longest running of all time. My facts today talk all about the TV show Cheers, which happened, of course, in the 1980s on NBC. Remember Christopher Lloyd? He was
Yes.
the actor in Back to the Future, right?
Yeah.
Well, before he was hugely popular from that movie, Back to the Future, he actually had a guest starring role on Cheers. During the last two episodes of the second season, he played Philip Semenko, an eccentric artist who wants to paint a portrait of Diane.
I can't believe he did that. He talks like this.
Yeah, exactly. Christopher
Marty, you got the time machine?
Yeah, and the time machine back to Cheers when he wanted to paint a portrait of Diane.
Unbelievable. See how cool that is?
Mm-hmm.
What TV series broke all boundaries in 1968? So if you remember, I Love Lucy, they had to sleep in separate beds, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And they wanted to have them in one bed, but they couldn't do that because the rules, there were boundaries. So there were boundaries in television. But in 1968, it was like a screeching halt. The boundaries were broken. And you know what TV show it was?
It wasn't I Love Lucy?
Star Trek.
Oh.
William Shatner, Captain Kirk, kisses Lieutenant Uhura,
No.
a black woman, a passionate kiss on television. So it was the first interracial kiss, 1968. Before that, that was a boundary that was not crossed. It wasn't really racial. It just was not a boundary that was crossed.
Kiss on the TV
I
screen.
guess it was racial. 1968.
How dare he kiss somebody? Here's my teaser. So what television show had the best TV theme of all time as voted by the readers in the Rolling Stone magazine? It was Cheers. The theme from Cheers, written in part and performed by American musician Gary Portnoy. The Cheers theme song made it on the Billboard charts. When it sounded like Casey Kasem, I made it on the Billboard charts when it was first released. Years later, it still makes an impact because in 2011, it was voted the best theme song ever created. It was based on a reader's poll in Rolling Stone magazine. And of course, you know the song where everybody knows your name.
Sure, Cheers.
Yeah.
Great
exactly.
song, by the way, too.
Awesome.
Yeah. And it's a good song, too? The Big Bang Theory.
Well, that was written and performed by the Bare Naked Ladies from Canada, of course.
They were in the Last Tango in Paris as well.
No, they weren't. That's not the kind of Big Bang.
Well,
it's just
there were Bare Naked
yeah,
Ladies
you know what?
in it. But,
You're right. Based on our high school years, our love life in high school years, it was a Big Bang theory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Theoretical.
I love this one. So this is another one, folks, that you're going to want to write it down.
And tell all your friends.
In television,
Mm-hmm.
getting married on screen was also very tricky. Who was the first couple to be married on television?
Oh, like actually getting married, not as part of the TV show?
Actually showing the ceremony, the marriage
So
ceremony.
it was an actual marriage. It had nothing. It wasn't like two characters on a TV show, fictional characters. These were real people.
No, fiction. Or it doesn't matter. Two people got married on television. The first two people to be married to show a visual of people getting married.
Luke
on
and
television.
Laura from All My Children. Luke and Laura.
No, good guess though.
Okay.
Kind of cool guess. I think it was like Rick Springfield was in that too.
Yeah, I think
right?
he was. Yeah.
But no, this is a great one because I thought maybe Tiny Tim. Remember when he got married on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson?
That's right.
So I would have thought that, but this one's and I'm telling you, it's funny too how things work. Their names were Fred and Wilma Flintstone.
No, really?
The Flintstone, Fred and Wilma were the first two to get married on screen. Now remember again, cartoons play this part where they could use the cartoon to kind of break the barrier, break the glass ceiling, use a cartoon. How could you get mad at a cartoon, right?
Yabba dabba do.
Mm-hmm.
Yabba dabba I do is what they said, I think. Here's useless information about that television show. The Flintstones were loosely based on another television program, a really popular one, The Honeymooners.
Oh right, because you can see how the characters are. I mean, you got your
big bombastic.
Norton is Barney.
Barney Rubble, yeah.
Sure,
exactly.
sure.
There you go.
You won't see the engineer that slams the Nissan Rogue's door 13,920 times. Or the corrosive chamber that simulates 15 years of life in 5 months. Or the Rogue heat-baked for over 300 combined hours. What you will see is a vehicle that can take punch after punch and keep rolling. Nissan. #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. We put it through the worst, so you get its best. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Newer models may be shown.
Now, one last item about the show Cheers, as you're listening to Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy, a brand new topic TV. There was a Thanksgiving episode where the Cheers cast got into a giant food fight during the show's Thanksgiving episode. but the food in the scene that they were, the food fighting with wasn't real. The real food would have stuck on things, according to Glenn Charles, one of the producers and creators of the show. He told the Hollywood Reporter in 2018, the combination of things we used caused the worst smell, but when I run it into anyone in the cast, they still comment on that smell, but it wasn't real food. It was just fake stuff that they threw around during that food fight in the Thanksgiving episode of the show Cheers.
So it was fake food.
It was fake food.
I ate over Nick's once for Thanksgiving, and it was the same thing. They brought out a fake prop turkey.
Yeah, exactly.
And it looked so wonderful. Everything looked great. They took a picture, and then we ate canned, I think it was corned beef hash.
It was, yes, exactly.
And tuna fish.
And tuna fish. How do you tuna fish?
I don't know.
You run it by
in
its
the KFC.
No, you run it by its scales.
Yeah, blah, blah.
Yeah. You're listening to Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. Thank you for joining us. As we mentioned, you go to our website, nickandroy.com. Not only can you order birthday and anniversary messages there, you can also send us an email.
What's in the mailbag? What's in the mail?
So, I've got Marlon from Detroit.
Speaking of fish.
Yeah, Marlon from Detroit. He says, you guys crack me up.
Oh.
In a world filled with news, podcasts, and shows about drama, politics, and nothing but stress, I find your show to be what did he write here? I find your show to be my solace.
Oh. Okay.
Good word, Marlon from Detroit.
So what was his name again?
Marlon. From Detroit.
Not the fish. My email comes from Jane from Oakland, California. West Coast girl. California girl, we assume. Dear Nick and Roy, we love listening to your show. You guys are pretty smart. Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
She's a bad judge of people.
There are some instances that I know the fact that you're talking about, but the fun of it is how you guys present the facts.
Right.
So that's cool. Now, you say that you're friends for over 40 years. I see how that is. You have no idea. You have no clue, Jane.
Yeah,
but anyway,
exactly.
thanks.
He's actually here down in Florida. I'm so surprised they even let him come over the border. But
I did. I mentioned his name, and I had to go through three times more security than I usually do.
Exactly.
Now, here's my
question. He got a strip search. I was like, I should have went to Canada.
That's right. Are you kidding? I had a strip search. I had lit up a cigarette. Now, here's my question, according from Jane from Oakland, California.
Nick getting a strip search was like a little kid going on a roller coaster. He was like, again.
That's right. It was over in 30 seconds. I went out the other night to a club, Jane says, and ordered a hamburger slider. It had me wondering who invented the slider and when. The first slider was made back in 1921 at a hamburger chain called White Castle.
Love them.
They would make your burger. Everything was served on porcelain. And they would slide the burger down the counter to you. That's how they became known as a slider. So thank you, Jane from Oakland, California.
Actually, when we were that drunk, we'd slide down the counter towards the burger.
That's right. It was the other way around.
You're listening to Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. Listen, laugh, and learn.
A very special episode here at the Fort Meyers Film Festival.
This is cool.
It is. We've been here all afternoon, and they haven't kicked us out yet, which is a good sign.
Yeah. We have Melissa DeHaven.
The Melissa DeHaven?
Listen to me.
Isn't it DeHaven?
Let me give you the... I'm going to give you... First off, she's got a really cool badge.
No.
She's wearing a cool badge for Fort Myers Film Festival. It's like a VIP thing.
The way it works on the show here, Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy, you put the useless and useless. Her last name is DeHaven.
DeHaven.
Is it all right?
Some people say that.
Yeah.
It's very heavenly.
The heaven.
Angelic.
She's
the
angelic. Oh, yeah, she is angelic. She looks angelic.
So Melissa Angelica, thank you. Welcome to the show. Angelica. So you didn't create any films. We've been talking to filmmakers all
let me give you the job titles, okay?
Okay.
She's a founding board member of the Fort Myers Film Festival.
Okay, and?
She does co-hosting during the festival.
Okay.
She's an assistant director.
And
a production coordinator. Now, let me just explain what she does, Melissa. She does everything that Eric doesn't.
Right.
You know, I do anything Eric needs help.
What is the most challenging part of your job? Because it's quite an impressive.
Other than looking angelic and making Eric look good.
Yeah.
I learned a lot, actually, from Mr. Raditz,
Okay.
Eric. You know, I'm super
boy.
organized and ready. You know, I need things in a certain order. And I learned to really just go with the flow with things. Like,
You
okay,
learned from Eric how
so listen,
not to
let
be
me tell you, for this
organized.
festival, it was, I'm just going to
And-
give you a quick example. I also work with the venue, the Sidney and Byrne Davis Art Center, for the
Right,
last
which you
12
do a
or 13
great
years.
job.
there.
Okay. Awesome.
Eric's a lot of fun. You know, the last few years, he's really calmed down more than he ever has. He used to drop F-bombs all the time at TGIM, and we'd have...
Wow.
He's calmed down a lot.
He has, because he hasn't
actually.
effed us at all
No.
on our show. Twice
No.
we had him on. What is your background? So how did you get involved, and why did you get involved with a film festival? Like, what is your background?
Well,
Other than
you
feeling
know
bad
what?
for
I
Eric.
like to just do things, and I wanted to be very involved in the community. And a friend that I helped, who put a film in the Naples Film Festival, invited me to the Fort Myers meeting they were having about the film festival. And
Right.
he's like, I know you want to be involved in arts and culture, and just come to this meeting. And I remember Eric from the Naples Film Festival on the big stage. He was the cool guy with the white sneakers on and the jacket, and, you know, he just was the most interesting, and he had the most personality and character. And I'm like, yes, I definitely.
He's a character.
He's such a character. I'm like, I definitely want to be a part of
Yeah,
this.
some
So
people call that
I
an
attended
emoji on a keyboard. He's a character.
I
yeah.
attended this meeting. There was like, I don't know, a handful, maybe 12 people at. And he called me a couple days later, and he was like, hey, do you want to produce the TGIM for the Fort Myers Film Festival? And
What is-
from there.
what is
It's
TGIM?
TGIM. Thank God for Indie Mondays.
It's the Monday
Yeah.
thing that I was talking about.
Right.
And that's one of the things I brought up in an interview. That's one of the things that makes this film festival so wonderful is the participation that they get from the community.
It is really cool.
Melissa, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's such a pleasure. Thank you.
The show today, we talked about inventions. We spoke to a couple of the wonderful filmmakers at the Fort Myers Film
Wasn't
Festival.
that great? That was
Yeah,
so
it was-
great.
what-
3 parts, guys. So
3 parts.
Tune in for the next 3. It's really cool.
It's
And-
really
and
cool.
At the end, we talk about the after parties and stuff, and it's on our newsletter.
As
Guys,
well.
if you don't get our newsletter, go to nickandroy.com, type on the store, Nick and Roy store, and look up the newsletter. Awesome. We talk about all the stuff that goes on behind the scenes, personal stuff. It's just do it. It's cool.
And of course, we created a brand new topic, television, by your request. It's time for the news.
And now, from around the corner and around the world, this is TUI News.
British Columbia cyclist Kevin Milner was rounding a downhill corner on a North Vancouver trail when he slammed into another road user crossing in front of him. Now, this collision sent Milner flying and left him with a broken scapula, a cardiac contusion, and other injuries. Now, you're thinking, okay, maybe it was a drunk driver or something. Nope, didn't involve another car or another cyclist for that matter. Milner's bike had T-boned a black bear.
He hit a bear.
He hit a bear. Bear left and
Didn't
right.
he see bear right?
No, bear left, bear in front of him. The last thing I saw, he said, of the bear was before the accident was him just running.
But a bear is a pretty large object.
But it's the way that he crossed the street. It's like, how did he cross the street? The last thing I saw of the bear before the accident was just him running. I could see his muscles as he was charging across the road, and I just hit him.
He
So I
should have turned.
turned what?
Just turned away. and
Bear right.
Not hit him.
Right behind his shoulder blade, he hit him, and then I was kind of launched myself over the top of him. So the last thing I saw, he said, was the bear before the accident, and was just him running. I could
Well,
see
the
his
last thing he
muscles.
saw was the bear, but he heard, "Don't start forest fires."
It wasn't that, I don't think.
Smokey. It was
I
Smokey. You
just-
should have noticed the hat. He had a park ranger hat on.
He did, boo-boo. So he did have a boo-boo.
Yeah,
Because
he should have noticed it was a bear and a picnic basket.
So Milner did have a boo-boo. He had a broken scapula, like I
This
said.
guy's riding his bike where? In the jungle?
As a matter of fact, it happened on the Seymour Demonstration Forest Trail.
See, I think of these things, Nick.
Of course you do, which is why you're
And
here.
I'm glad that you have the pertinent information on the case.
Shelley Fiorito from she's a community coordinator of the regional district of Okanagan. And she's there. She's part of the.
She's somewhere.
Yeah.
She's in the woods.
She's in the woods. She's not out of the woods yet, like we are. The wildlife is coming down, especially the bears when they come out of the denning. Now, bears can smell 5 times better than dogs.
What, do they wear cologne?
They do.
Oh, they smell. I thought you meant they smell good.
No.
They smell better than dogs.
Better, yeah. They smell gooder than dogs by 5 times. So Ellie Lamb, director of the community outreach for the Get Bear. So Ellie Lamb.
These people are all named after animals.
Yeah.
Johnny Wolf.
Ellie Lamb. She's part of
and Harrietta the kangaroo.
She's part of the Great Bear Smart Society. Well, this bear wasn't so smart.
I was just gonna say nothing about this story is smart. The man's riding a bicycle. You can clearly see in front of him. There's a large object called a bear, which 2 reasons. Number 1, don't want to hit the bear because he's big.
Right.
2, you don't want to poke the bear and piss him off.
No, but hold on.
Dopey man shouldn't be riding anything.
I have to defend the cyclist because he says,
of course,
he didn't have an option to get out of the way because in split seconds before he crashed into the bear, he said appeared to be unhurt as it nibbled on grass after the collision. So he thought, okay, it's no big deal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then the bear came over and beat the living hell out of him.
No. He just went off. It was kind
the
of
bear rode off on his bike.
He did.
And joined the circus.
No, come on now. He hitchhiked. It was kind of hard to avoid situation.
Mm-hmm.
If you were driving your car and say a bear or deer jumps out on the highway, there's only so much you can do. And you've gone hunting before.
Sure.
Have you ever hit a deer?
With a car?
Yes.
Actually, we were driving behind my son, and he hit a deer when he was, I believe we were up there checking out the venues for him getting married. And he hit a deer with his car. So I actually witnessed someone hitting a deer. Yeah, they come flying across the road. But a bear is not as fast as a deer hopping around. This bear was in the middle of the road. This man was riding a bicycle directly into a bear. This is all ridiculous.
It is. Well, anyway, thanks very much for joining us. Speaking of ridiculous, we're done. Thank you for joining us. We will scour the internet, as our staff will, and we will scour and find out all kinds of totally useless information just for you.
Yeah, and don't forget, 3 parts with the Fort Meyers Film Festival. Please, 70 countries around the world. Tell a friend about this show. It keeps us growing. Thanks so much for listening.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Roy.
Yes, thanks very much for listening.
Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy is a production of nickandroy.com. Visit nickandroy.com to access the full library of episodes or wherever you get your podcasts.